Mugathoni wa Mushomba, MP Githunguri. Local quota.
Yes.
For education.
Kwanza kabisa nataka kuchukua nafasi hii ni washukuru watu wa Githunguri. You know they gave me votes unanimously. They agreed that this lady, they call me Madhe on the ground, that Madhe has matters education at heart. I keep telling them, even when I was asking for their votes, that they can trust me as a teacher because my first degree of 1999, like you mentioned, I trained to become a teacher, though I didn't practice. Then my master's, of course, I did journalism, and now I'm pursuing a PhD. But that notwithstanding, we have a problem in Githunguri. Not only in Githunguri, but in Kiambu County. We have about 7 national schools. We have the Alliances of the Day, the Mangu, the Maryhill, the Loretos. But very few of our children are selected to join the schools. Mind you, we also have the best performing private primary schools and public primary schools. Like, for example, the first public primary school in central Kenya is from Githunguri. Githunguri Township Primary School was number 1. We had over 74 children qualifying for national schools. And last Friday, I was there for prize giving day. And I went to the staff room and I saw the list of, where was the number 1 selected to join.
Well, they posted.
Yeah. And it's so painful to see with that kind of performance and the school being the top school in central Kenya, our children were not selected to join our local schools.
None.
Okay, not none. Not the volume that I would have expected.
Okay.
First of all, because these children had selected those schools as their choice number 1. But that was not honored.
So like how many had scored 400 and above?
We had 72.
With 400 and above?
Yes. No. We had, I can't remember the numbers. Sorry, I can't remember the numbers.
But
it was number 1 in central Kenya. Okay. I mean, it's a school that was leading in 11 counties. So what is our problem? Our problem is that we have volumes of learners who are making it to that mark to join national school. And then we have to do this national, what do you call it? National spread. Yeah. Where, a child from Githunguri should be going to Migori, a Migori child should be coming to Kiambu. Yeah. And I have no problem with that personally. But I have a problem if my children who are working so hard, where I'm investing so hard for CDF to, uplift the facilities of those schools, they cannot give my children equal opportunity. We are discriminated for performing well. Allow me to use that as a politician, because why would you not give my children an opportunity, yet they qualify?
But see, they went to a national school.
But they're going to a national school?
The reasoning is... we do not want to see like Kiambu schools are all full of Kikuyu children or Kiambu children.
National outlook.
National outlook. But that national
Exposure.
outlook is discriminating us. Because how do I explain to my daughter who wanted to join Alliance Girls High School and got the mark and actually went to Alliance Girls High School for benchmarking? Because that's what we do. We take our children to our local good schools to go and see Maryhill, to go and see Loreto. And then she gets the mark, but she doesn't get the school. And then she's admitted in a school in Wajir.
For national
school.
That's not...
Yeah, so I am saying, in as much as we want to be seen national, in as much as we want to implement this policy, we also need to be careful so that we don't look like we are discriminating.
What do you propose?
I propose this. Every school, national school, extra county school, we get a special class for locals. A special class. Class means
so let's say a quota.
Threshold.
So you say
that is the quota
out of 100
about.
That you
if you're admitting 200 learners,
25%.
you give us 25%. We give you the learners. We'll give you qualified learners. We are not going to ask for affirmative. Yeah. We don't want affirmative. We want qualified by merit. We
by
give you those.
What you're proposing is affirmative, just so that you understand. But there's nothing wrong with it.
Yes.
There isn't anything wrong with it. Yeah. For me, what I see as an issue here...
Yeah. Let me finish my submission, then you can contribute. The reason why I'm saying this is because the same school which is telling me my learners will not be admitted or selected in that school, come to me to ask me to build for them a laboratory, a dining hall, upgrade for them walls, fencing, all that. they are dependent on the same allocation of CDF. But my learners don't have the opportunity to enjoy the same facility. I feel that's not fair. That's my submission.
I understand. But for me, and tell me if this makes sense to you.
Yeah.
I really wish that the energy that is being put towards these arguments, the agitation, the clamor that's being made, would go towards fixing the education system, which is the problem here. Because you have this categorization of schools, you will always have this problem. If it is not Githunguru who is complaining today, and Gatundu South and Gatundu North, it will be somebody else who's complaining tomorrow. Because of the fundamental issues with the system. Because you have the categorization of schools, you will eternally have this problem. So why can't we look at having all schools in the country playing on the same system? Gigi gave us the example yesterday of some countries in the world whereby it doesn't matter where you are.
US.
It doesn't matter where you are. If you're in Boston or if you're in the south of Florida, your child will be okay going to that school because the system has dictated and guaranteed that everybody's on a level playing field. No national, no sub-county, no nothing. You walk into school gate in the four corners of a classroom, whether you're in Wajir or Kwale or Githunguri, you are guaranteed of the same across the board. So guess what? Nobody comes to you and says build laboratory. Nobody comes to you and says build extra dormitory or toilet, because it has come from the system knowing that we're all on the same playing field. Wouldn't it be good if this energy that we are fighting for goes towards that conversation and says the whole country be on the same playing field?
Thank you very much. I think that's an idea that I should be able to adopt and probably maybe discuss further with my colleagues and see whether it's possible through maybe a policy or a sessional paper that would develop to a policy, because I think it's right. The same way I brought the issues of new uniform, and I said I don't understand this whole crazy about uniforms, that I have to buy a special uniform for this school, which is costing 40,000. Another one is costing 60,000. Like there's one that really pained me. I had to pay 21,000 to a child that I was sponsoring, and I paid school fees, and I was told that my child will not report to school because I have to pay another 21,000 for uniform. It really pained me, you know. So I have actually introduced a motion in the National Assembly, which was debated positively, and we are expecting that the ministry, through the Committee of Implementation in Parliament, will come up with a policy on uniform, regularization and standardization of uniform. Let us have a clear guideline for a school to adopt a uniform. What must they do and what must they not do? Because this thing is becoming crazy. I mean, children are not going to school not because of lack of tuition, but lack of uniform.
Surely.
It's crazy. So I agree with you, and I hope there will be another member who will do like I have done, because I can't do everything, obviously. I have done on uniform. I hope there's somebody. I hope somebody else will pick up the issues of the categorization of schools.
Since you've started,
you might as well.
I continue.
Yes, continue.
Okay, so I agree, but the quota system, especially for Kiambu schools, I don't want to speak for another county. For Kiambu school is something that we really need. Do you know if we don't do this, what will happen? Our learners will be demotivated.
Why are they demotivated?
Because they wanted
back to the issue that Ndu is raising. If you look at it in terms of you want a national level education. National level education should be uniform across the board, and then there is an advantage in getting out of where you've grown and been, because also you're getting a national outlook, you're learning to engage with other people. That, that conversation, that exposure surely helps. So my question would be, if you cast your eye ahead, what happens to those learners who go out vis-a-vis those who stay? What are the pros and cons? Because I think there's also a social dimension that we need to pay attention to. Because
those who come from a primary school here, they cross the fence over into the secondary school and they walk home for 16 years of their life.
Versus the one who goes to Migori
and is forced to learn a little.
You want to tell me the ones who go to Migori are better?
No,
exposure.
We don't know. We are asking.
We're asking.
Because that person
you're asking.
That person might
you're asking the wrong person.
No, because we are saying our parents to get
and
their education.
All the counties in the country, Migori. Okay.
No, she's got something with Migori. There's something you tell us at another
Migori number one, Wajir
don't
number
mention
two.
Migori again.
I don't mention Migori again. Okay. I had a case of a child who actually got 412 marks. a girl and really wanted to go to Maryhill, but she didn't get an opportunity. So she was admitted in a school in Migori. That's why I am.
That's how come
about
it's top
Migori.
of your mind.
And this girl just refused to go to Migori. She refused completely.
Why?
She said she was working towards going to Maryhill, and it went to a point where she was suicidal. And I had to come in as a mother figure and to counsel the girl, and and I had to go to Maryhill and plead for her to be admitted. And I was told I have to wait for Form 2, because during maybe 1 year of Form 1 there might be somebody who is going to drop out, then she can join in. So she's now working on a promise that in Form 2 she's going to join Maryhill.
So is she in Migori now?
Yeah, she's in Migori, but
how is she liking it?
She's not liking it, and she's depressed.
Oh no!
The point you're making, Mheshimiwa, is an extremely valid one, because it's reasonable. You're saying, look,
A quota.
yes, why don't you allow us? It's affirmative. We already have put into play affirmative action in so many ways. We are saying, and not just for us. Give other counties the same thing.
The same thing,
Yeah,
yes.
It's not just Githunguri.
Yes.
See, her, she didn't be Kwake ni Githunguri. So she must speak for Githunguri. Allow us this, so that even our parents and their children know that this is the quota that we have. But you know what Ndu suggested makes all these things so much easier. So that even with the quota system, even when you are told that you are going to a part of the country you didn't even know existed, okay? It reminds me of a time, me pia ni mwalimu. You would be posted. Some of us received our posting letters before we finished our last exam. And you're being told that your first posting is in Garbatula. You're asking, where's Garbatula?
Go up.
Is that in Kenya?
So you go to the library to look for a map of Kenya.
Because
No,
that time there was no
seriously,
Google.
yes, there's no Google to find out where Garbatula is. Okay? Now, with children, this is an adult. With a child, it can be traumatizing. But if it is known that the quality of education is the same, then this discussion becomes different.
Yep.
Can I tell you now what is going on? Because of this very many good performance, not getting to extra county schools and national schools, they are all flocking in our day schools. So like, for example, in my constituency, my day schools populations are swelling. We actually cannot accommodate the learners.
You are
Let me
paying the
finish.
price for being good
Let me
performers.
finish. So, our day schools are swelling with good learners.
Yes.
Traditionally, day schools were for those that do not qualify for those schools.
It was for the others.
But now you're finding a child who had 400 now has joined day school, not because she was not admitted in a school, but it is far and it has economic
The other
implications.
requirements.
Yes.
So the parent finds it difficult to take a child to Eldoret because they can't afford the fares, they cannot afford all those issues. Now, our day schools are now becoming very good centers for learning.
Is that not a good thing?
Very good centers. We have day schools like in my county, sub-county, I have day schools who are giving us like 20 A's to university. So there is also a good aspect of it and a bad aspect of it. Now, the only challenge we have now, it's the pressure these learners are exerting on those day schools. Because every day, the head teachers are requesting for more classes. They are requesting for more toilets. They are requesting for more water. There are schools that require more electricity.
Is that not a good problem?
It is a good problem because, yes, it's a good problem. And
How
also a
about
bad
the community
problem because
asking for a new school?
Sorry?
Has there been any new public secondary school?
Yes, we are creating day secondary school, new ones, every year. Even this year, we have one that we are in the process of making. We are actually splitting primary schools into secondary because now there is a lot of demand for day school because parents are pressed.
Is this a national program or a county program?
Ours is a county. It is a county, actually a sub-county. Let me speak for my sub-county. So there is a good story about it and there's a bad story about it. But at the end of the day, we must make sure that we accommodate good learners. Performing learners,
which is the point,
to our desired schools.
If we stopped calling these things sub-county, county, extra county, if it just became a secondary school,
destigmatized,
that would be the best.
So you make sure that the lab in this local school is the same as the lab in Berryhill.
Exactly, and the teachers are the same.
And the teachers are the same.
Yeah.
But right now, there's complete disproportionate
I agree. There's a lot
distribution
of
resources
work to
in
be
this.
done in the Ministry of Education.
Yeah.
Like my sister said, a lot of work. Yeah,
It
even
should be part
at
of
the
the
policy
national
level.
dialogue.
Yeah.
That is.
Yes.
Education.
That's the
Yeah.
problem.
That
Agreed.
is a
Agreed.
big issue in terms of national dialogue.
Agreed.
If you just look at the number of children, for example, in your
Yeah.
constituency,
Yeah.
who are in grade 7, JSS,
Yeah.
an entire term they closed, they learnt zero.
Nothing.
Because, JSS was a false start completely. No teachers, no books.
Even now,
No
they still don't have
classrooms.
sufficient teachers.
When they open, they'll come back into the same issue. These are matters that should be getting public attention in the National Assembly.
And that is why I said this whole bipartisan thing
Yes, doesn't
to me
work.
doesn't make sense. It is waste of time.
It's a wrong conversation to have.
It's a
It's an
drama. It's a
Elite
skit.
political negotiation.
Yeah, because they should be speaking about junior secondary school, talk about issues of what GMR, guaranteed minimum return,
Yeah.
something that we campaigned around and we must deliver. And by the way, I'm the chair of a coffee caucus in the National Assembly. we have a
that too.
caucus.
Yes.
And
Come again next time.
yeah,
Come, let's talk
call
about.
me next time we speak
Let's talk about that guaranteed minimum return.
Yeah,
Not exactly.
yeah, but
it means.
bipartisan we should be speaking. You know, I'm asking this question, Eric. Eric, you come from Nyeri, I guess. I'm asking those guys in Nyeri when they watch TV and they see bipartisan talks.
Do they know?
What is going on in their mind? Those guys in Gedongori, our milk farmers, when they hear there is bipartisan talks, what are they thinking? I'm sure they're thinking our milk prices should be reviewed.
Yeah, we be paid
Our
more.
animal feed should be reviewed in terms of pricing. I mean, our roads should be done. Not those stories I'm hearing Akina Otie Domoro discuss. I saw him on TV last night and I was like, yes, switch off this TV.
Gadoni,
Because
thank you
I'm
very
tired
much.
of these
Thank you
bipartisan
for joining
political
us today.
talks.
Come again soon.
Thank you, guys.
Asante.
Thank you
Gadoni
for having me.
Wamushomba is a member of parliament for Githunguri constituency. Wajiro, always a pleasure.
Pleasure.
When will you be back next week or this week?
Pleasure.
Okay.
My former boss.
Have a lovely one. Good morning, people.